Alrighty then, let me get a little bit comfortable and switch over to this bad boy right here. And time to create some pre-generated characters for player use with SMTT and some of the new rules that will be finding their way into the 1.05 update. The concepts that I currently have, I'm gonna try and achieve a sort of medieval spawn themed character, a darkness themed character, and a werewolf character, like, you know, all Hulk mode, sort of, right? And these are just some of the things. Originally, I was going to go with something a little bit more like a Witchblade type thing. But with the darkness, I think I could achieve it. I don't want to overlap any of the new beta test rules in any one class. I want each NPC, you hear me? Each pre-generated character to represent one of the new aspects of the 1.05 update. Man, I just started. I'm already gonna need to refill that coffee cup soon. So without further ado, so load this up. Who should we start with? Should we start with the medieval spawn one? The darkness themed. Now, mind you, these are superhero characters. And SMTT, though superheroic in power, is still a fantasy themed game. So I guess the easiest maybe might be a medieval spawn like character. And I already have a theme. I don't know what his name is gonna be. They're all gonna be level 6, and they're all gonna have 5,000 gold to play with. So let me in the gold just put down 5,000 gold. Not that I need to put the gold points, but whatever. My OCD is kicking in. Kicking in. Alright. Class level. Knight. 6. I think a Knight of the Silver Oath would be best. This way he can be a sufficient tank. And for those who don't know, this is currently the 1.4, the 1.04 rules. 1.04 is currently available. This is how the game plays right now. The rules that I'm using for the 1.05 update have yet to be properly formatted, tested, and whatnot. So they're scattered about in little areas like this. Just for the time being. I will eventually make it as clean and as organized as the official 1.04 book is. Let's explode it open, drop down to character creation, and go to our stat arrays. Now, I think he should be a mixture of strong and tough. Should he be human? Because everything that I'm looking at in these comics are all based off of very human characters. They're human, you know, in these comics. Spawn was a human. The Darkness is a human. Hell, even the Hulk is a Bruce Banner, and and not Amadeus Chow Hulk. Okay, he's a cool character. He's all right, but he's not the Hulk. So we won't be talking about Amadeus Chow. Bruce Banner. Anyway, the Hulk. Even the Hulk is human, and the green guy is just someone he turns into. I mean, we could do, instead of the Hulk, oh, what is her name? I forget her name. I believe she's in the New Mutants. She's a very werewolf-looking character. I can just Google her real quick, right? New Mutants. They had a different name before. I can't remember right now. Man, they changed so much stuff up. Oh, there's so much on here. See, this picture shows her, but I guess I could share it. This image right here. See this chick, the little furry chick? She has her own like power-up mode, where she gets a little bit more bestial. I could make her, like, the character themed off of her instead of the Hulk. But I swear, I forget her name, man. You could always make Mystique by making a changeling. It's already in the game. It's not part of the update. But, yeah, let's just close this. This is unnecessary. So, let's look at our races. Which one of the races you see here, this spread makes for a good medieval Spawn-like character? I mean, human is the default. That's already within my head. Human, right? Dwarf would be interesting. Little dwarf, right? A little Weisenheimer. We got the King's Blood. I mean, making him older would just be mean. It would just be wrong. So mean. Because I'm going to give him a new in-development bond called My Own Enemy, which is the Sorrowborn bond. He has something known as a sorrow inside of him. Because remember, also the suit for any hell spawn is a sort of parasitic thing. So the idea of My Own Enemy, they're also kind of a parasitic thing. They manifest in different ways. we'll get there. We'll get there. First, let's create the base of the character. I swear, I'm thinking human. That's just where my mind is taking me. So, race human. The human is not a child, which is an age category in the game. Basically means, you know, teenager, young adult, you know, middle-aged. They're not an old fart yet. They're on the last legs of adventure. Oh, Sean Connery as a knight. There's an old fart knight. I'm shaking this too much. I spilled some on my hand. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Hot coffee on the hand. I'm getting a little too out of control. Did I spill any in my shirt? I think I spilled some on my shirt. No? Yes? Getting a little out of control here. That's what it is. Good thing is, I'll be drawing these characters later throughout the week as they are getting made. So I want them to be as full of character and everything as possible. So human, not a child, a knight, level 6. We'll make him with a silver oath, right? I should create a dark oath. Well, not yet. Later we'll look into that. So go into the core. Let's go up to the stat array so we know what stats we're choosing from. Kind of picture him kind of, you know, 15. We'll drop the 14 in charisma. 13 in constitution. Because I'm gonna go with this one. 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. So we got the 15, 14, 13, the 12, the 10, and the 8. So 12, 10, and 8 for dexterity, because I plan on putting him in some really heavy armor. Because while medieval Spawn really isn't wearing armor, he's medieval Spawn, right? It's a style choice and stuff. Like, I remember the toy. The toy had his outfit themed more like armor than the comics did. So I'm going to put him in armor. Okay, so after the stat array is chosen, we'll go down to races. Humans are pretty simple. Increase 2 ability scores by 1. You know, speed 30. It's uncommon or common language. So we go here, put in languages. Languages spoken. Common. And what? Elven, just cuz. Oh, no. Language of fire. With a language barrier. Language of fire is uncommon? Yep, infernal. Alright. We're talking Spawn here. We're talking Spawn, so why not? Infernal, the language of flames. Okay, we haven't gotten the background yet, but we'll give him a background. As soon as we're done with the stats, back to human. They're going to gain 1 feat or bond of their choice that they qualify for, and increase 2 of their abilities by 1 point. Those abilities are going to be their Constitution, raising it to 14, and their Strength, raising it to 16. So this is a +3, a -1, a +2, no benefit whatsoever, +1, and a +2. Okay, they get 1 feat or a bond that they qualify for. I know I'm giving him this, so I'm going to be giving him this as the very first thing that I'm giving him. My own enemy. Then we'll decide what else comes afterwards. Now let's close races and look at backgrounds. I think I want to give him Dark Taint as a background. Like, Dark Taint. Whoops! You're followed by sinister forces and destined for darker things. Yes, you're a hero, but maybe one day, who knows? The feelings of negativity. I can't believe that's spelled wrong. Wow, nobody has ever pointed that out to me. So let's make note somewhere over the rainbow. Make a note of that with a red pen because we have to. Oh my goodness. I don't want to open up the text version of the core rules because it's a pretty big file. I'm not sure if my computer can handle everything else and that. But, yeah. So, moving right along, the feelings of negativity around you has a pronounced effect on one's mind. Creepy shadows, mist, and the fact that the undead seem to follow you wherever you may go. The thing is, you don't really know why this has happened to you or even what you might become. It scares you and others, and wherever you tread, you are never welcome. Only through heroic actions have you been able to keep this darkness at bay. Just. Skill proficiencies that you gain are intimidation and survival. The equipment is simple clothes with a cloak and hood. The feature is madness makes me well. There is an air about you that others find disturbing. You know you're not an evildoer, and your deeds should show others of your good intent. But there's something about you. You slip in and out of madness too easily, showing little to no concern for the things that drive other heroes to the brink of utter insanity. Whenever you gain a level of insanity, you may regain hit points equal to your recovery amount. You need not spend a recovery to do so. Alternatively, as an action, you may spend a recovery to lose one level of insanity. Now, thematically, Dark Taint fits with what I want to achieve, and mechanically it fits as well, and I'll let you know in a second why as soon as I mark this down. So, background, Dark Taint. Madness makes me well. Now, I'm dropping my notes. I can't be dropping my notes. Now, with that in mind, let me go over to some of these, not all of these. I'm not going to put every single bond in feat in the next update. It's a lot that I have working on. But, let's go. My own enemy. This is the bond that he will be getting at level 1, and we will be playing at level 6. That's why the character will be leveled up to level 6. So let me read you this bond. Brian! What's up, brother? You just joined us, so I'm going to be making some pre-generated characters, playable characters like the 17 that I made for the beginner game, but this time I'm going to be making a handful that will be utilizing the playtest rules for the 1.05 update. Though it hasn't been released, I want to get some testing in to make sure that the numbers, that the wording, that everything is good. And the first character that I'm working on is going to be themed off of Medieval Spawn. Currently, he is a human, not a child. We'll be making him a knight of the Silver Oath. And the very first thing he's getting at level 1 is My Own Enemy, and his background is Dark Taint. So moving right along to reading My Own Enemy, the Sorrowborn bond. Sorrows come in many shapes and sizes, all of which feed on the suffering of others. You have one such sorrow growing inside of you, and are battling it for control over your own body. By feeding it, you've learned to harness and control the sorrow's power. Be careful though, you never know when the sorrow inside will gain the upper hand. Starting from the point you take this bond, you become immune to the detrimental effects of gaining insanity, though you still gain levels of insanity normally. Additionally, as a bonus action, you may engulf yourself in whole or in part with the sorrow's dark form and use its powers. You may spend ability points your sorrow grants you to gain any of the normal non-special abilities available to the companion's ability table. You gain any attack gained may be used as part of an attack action. The benefit of the extra attack X feature, gaining the benefit of the extra attack X feature. So, like for a knight of 5th level gets extra attack 1, meaning they get 1 extra attack every time they use the attack action, granting them 2 attacks every time they take that action. Your ability points equals 0 times your current levels of insanity. If you ever gain 7 levels of insanity or become down and out, the sorrow inside takes over. You lose control of your character. To the GM. The sorrow has all your stats, abilities, skills, etc. It's basically you, and that version of you is in control by the GM. However, its health is measured in wounds, like a companion or follower. Your sorrow form has 7 plus your heroic tier in wounds. For this pre-generated character, that sorrow will have a total of 8 wounds. While the sorrow is in control, you cannot benefit from regaining hit points by any means, and the sorrow remains in control for as long as its wounds are higher than 0. So somehow, your allies are going to have to beat you up when you're in your full-blown sorrow form and bring you down to 0 wounds. Only then can you benefit from healing and be brought back into the fight. Now, for the mechanical features of being such a thing. Starting at 6th level, you may, as a standard action, gain a number of levels of insanity equal to your heroic tier. You have a number of ability points equal to your heroic tier times your current level of insanity. So, if we go to the character sheet, the first page of the character sheet, there's insanity. You click off what you get. Everything on the right side of these boxes are the detrimental effects of insanity. With my own enemy, you're immune to the detrimental effects. However, when you eventually get 7 levels, that's it. The sorrow inside takes over. Now, the idea is that your cape, right? Because Spawn has that cape. Your cape will be the manifestation of the sorrow, right? And for purpose of the pre-generated character, there'll be a little less in the way of flexibility to make it easier to play. I'll create a few abilities that the character can use once they gain certain levels of insanity. But when the rules are made official and released in the 1.05 update, the benefit of the My Own Enemy bond will be the flexibility to constantly change what you can do as a bonus action depending on how many levels of insanity you actually have, your current levels of insanity. And with Dark Taint, you could start spending your recoveries to heal those levels of insanity. So if you're on the brink of the sorrow taking control, then, let's tick off the intimidation and survival. So, skills, intimidation, survival. You get those for free for having the Dark Taint background. Now you know why the Dark Taint background synergizes really well with My Own Enemy. And My Own Enemy, as an action, you can gain levels of insanity. Dark Taint lets you heal for your recovery amount for every level of insanity you gain. So you'll be a very tough target to take down. And the Knight as a class is basically a tank, very supportive, very hardy, has healing abilities, and helps the party survive. Brian knows this because he's played the Knight before. Alrighty then. So now that we have that out of the way, let's go to classes and go to the Knight. Alright, level 6, the proficiency bonus is +3. So let's plop that here, proficiency +3. Awesome power is a base of 1. Yeah, Brian. Currently with an awesome power of 1, the highest stat is only at a +3. So the encumber's threshold is 3. He can't carry much at all. Right, so that heavy armor is gonna push him. But we still have options as a Knight. Now, they have Lay on Hands, a fighting style, Channel Divinity. So for the class features, the Lay on Hands, Healing Pool. I don't know what the fighting style is yet. They will be getting Undead Bane. Let me just put that down there. So at 6th level, they could do it twice per rest. They have the extra attack 1 feature. The Knight's Oath, which I believe will be using the Silver Oath for this guy, because the Silver Oath lets you summon a mount. And Medieval Spawn has a mount. Healing Pool is 22 for this character. Divine Blessings is what? How many? No, not 9. 4 Divine Blessings to customize your Knight. Why is that spelt all wrong? Because I can't spell, that's why. The Undead Bane, another character option. What should the other character option be? He asks as he strokes his chin whiskers. Alright, give me a second. Let me look at some of the... I said I only wanted one beta feature of the 1.05 update to be used, but maybe he could have a feat from here. Like one of these mounted feats, the Dedicated Rider, Expert Rider, or Lancer. Though Spawn doesn't use lances and spears, so maybe not in Lancer. But the Expert Rider, you learn to ride and command your mount with your knees and no longer require one hand on the reins. So he can use his sword and shield while he's mounted, rather than just either his sword or shield. His summoned mount can't be damaged, so he doesn't need Dedicated Rider. Let's look. He doesn't have a high enough constitution for Warrior's Way. The Reaper Bond is a bond. No. I don't wanna grow up. Well, we'll go with that later. Because I know Brian wants to play with that one. and the story catchers, since they're pretty much his. The thematics for the whole thing are his. Like he was there through every step of the development of these two things so far. So I know he wants that, but we won't go there right now. We'll skip through Chaos Theory. Nah, screw it. Screw it. We won't give him one of these. We'll give him a normal feat or ability bump. Feats. Accident prone, amateur wrestler. He's already proficient with everything up to heavy armor and shields. Huh. Armor master? While you're wearing armor, it's reduced by your awesome power. We could get that to 2, but... Oh. Complete +2. AP +2. It'll be AP +1. 3. Yeah, that's not crazy. Like, making him very, very hearty. We skip over all the Beast Bloods because they have been inexorably changed, or will be inexorably changed in the next update. Since we're playing with the next update for playtesting, we'll skip them. Devout Brittle Bones. Fee Fi Fo Fum. Crafted. No. He doesn't have a high enough intelligence, does he? I mean, what would Spawn look like wielding a gun anyway? Medieval Spawn, not regular Spawn. Regular Spawn, I know, he wields guns. But this is not him. We're theming off of Medieval Spawn. I work out, martial proficiency, mimic, no. Magic dabbler. No. He's not much of a sniper either. He's gonna be wearing armor, so he doesn't need sparkling pecs. He's not an old fart. Tall, dark, and ugly. No. Yeah. He's already got a bond. I mean, we could give him a feat. I don't see a feat that I like that would help sell that Medieval Spawn feel. Accident prone, wrestler. Except for maybe Armor Master. But considering he's kind of tanky, like Armor Master will help him resist damage from bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. And Constitution would just help him get his hit points higher. Decisions. Yeah, I think Armor Master. Let's give him Armor Master. That's a bond. And that's a feat. We'll give him Armor Master, and then we'll play around with the blessings to make him ridiculous. Oh, turn the music down a little bit. Aww. Okay, so we'll slide it to the left. How's that, better? Slide it to the left a little bit more. Why not? Should be almost inaudible by now. Let's go back up to the knight. Let's look at the features he gets for being a Radiant Oath. No, a Silver Oath Knight. At level 3, he gets Devoted Defender. Upon taking this oath at 3rd level, the Knight of the Silver Oath learns to put others' safety first. When an adjacent ally is hit by an attack, you may use your reaction to jump in the way of the incoming attack, taking the damage that would have been dealt to an adjacent ally or innocent NPC. That's why I went for Armor Master, because you get to mitigate that a little bit. right? Then at 7th level they get the mount. Okay, so he don't get the mount yet, but still, devoted defender is a hell of a thing to have in a party. So we'll drop that. We'll drop that bad boy in here. Devoted defender. Okay. So now we just have the, what, 4? Yep, 4 blessings to choose from. Let's click down on blessings. Now, besides Smite, Brian, what do you think a medieval spawn? Because Smite is all radiant and stuff. What do you think a medieval spawn should have? Right? None shall pass could be good. Divine strength to up to awesome power could be really good. Shield master could be kind of bonkers. Gain plus 1 AC when wielding a shield. Additionally, when forced to roll a dexterity save for half damage from an AoE attack, you may take 0 damage on a successful save. So like a large shield, because medieval spawn has a large shield. He doesn't have a tower shield. So with the idea of giving him a large shield, it'll give him a +3 to his AC. I will be giving him, I'll probably be giving him full plate. So that means he'll have a 23 AC. And one of the very first abilities I'm going to be giving his cape when he starts gaining levels of insanity is the ability to up that some more too. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll talk about that. But Shield Master, Aura of Vengeance. Ooh, I mean, his charisma's only 14, right? So it's only a +2 to damage, but it's something, and it's kind of, Hellspawn like. He's already immune to the effects of insanity because of his my own enemy bond, but not fear. All right. I'm thinking divine strength. Halo of fire? Really? Do you see that as, well, maybe. We'll theme it as green flame. Here's what I'm thinking. Right, for the divine blessings. I think work really well for a knight, period. None shall pass. Right? No, not on Shield Master. Divine strength. And Aura of Vengeance. I know, it's supposed to be vengeance. It's just a weird way to spell vengeance. Right, this way he only has his allies add a +2 to their damage, but I mean that could stack up. That could stack up fairly quickly. I know Aura of Fire does the AoE damage, but I don't know, something about Spawn makes me feel like it's all about anger, So this way everybody is vengeful. Vengeance, vengeful. No, the spells and specials. Ah, this is where we're gonna need to take a step away from the actual character sheet and go to a scrap sheet. Normally, I would use a piece of paper to do all this stuff. I find it faster. I'm a little bit old school like that, I guess. But, yeah. So, let's go back to the my own enemy. My own enemy bond is 5 times levels of insanity, right? Heroic tier times levels of insanity. Alright, so 3 times levels of insanity. Right? So let's see how we're going to do this. So 1 level of insanity. Yeah. Or a vengeance. Or a vengeance. See, even you spelt it wrong. It's not just my problem. It's just a weird way of spelling it. Why does it have to be spelled that way? Otherwise, it's incorrect, says the computer. The computer. The computer. Yeah, it shows up as wrong. Anyway. Moving right along. So, what should the cape's abilities be? I kind of want to give it a bit of armor. Right? So let's go to the companion and hireling rules. So the pet and hirelings, or companion follower. Let's go all the way down to the chart. This is how you know that it's alpha, beta test. You know, early. I have almost no... Oh no, that's traits creating. Ah, there's the table. So... I was thinking of giving him armored hide. Right? So a Beastblood or Sorrowborn, which this character is a Sorrowborn, will gain plus 2 AC at 1 level of insanity. Like, unleashing this. I'm going to do the different levels of insanity, and it's going to be specific. It's not going to be as malleable and open. You know, to make it easier to play, because you'd have to know this a bit better to benefit from, you know, like at 1 level of insanity, oh, I have armor. At 2 levels of insanity, instead of having armor, I have you know, like a scorpion tail type of upgrade that does poison damage with the cape, or maybe the tentacle. No, tentacles are special. But you know, the tail upgrades, or the cape turns into a giant maw, you know, 1 second, and then you switch it as a bonus action to something different. You know, that's all possible, but it requires a bit of setup and knowledge of the rules, which, since these rules aren't official yet, they're not officially out and available for everyone. I'm gonna cut it down real quick. So plus 2 AC. Alright, so for 6 points he has plus 4 AC. So what else is 3 points? Maybe we should do that because he has those glowy eyes. So we'll give him dark vision because he's a human. Humans don't have dark vision. Right? Dark vision. Dark vision. Man, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. Dark vision and armored hide. So at 3 levels, he simply has dark vision and armored hide times 2. Right? So what's another 3? Should he have this and something else, or keen? Oh my gosh, keen senses and life sense instead of dark vision. Okay, hold on. So life sense costs 4. Keen senses cost 2. Huh. So that'd be 6 points, right? That'd be at 2 levels of insanity. So if we kill this, right? At 1 level of insanity, he can have that. 2 levels, he could have that, or license teeth and or that. Right? This way it gives him at least an option to switch between something more combat oriented and then something less combat oriented, more roleplay like. So at 3 levels he'd have 9 points. Right? He'd have 9 points to spend at 3 levels. What do you think he should have instead of everything else? Or should it be life sense, keen sense, sight, and armored hide 1 when he hits 3 levels of insanity? I want to give him an attack too at some point, but we take this. Right. So armored hide plus 2 AC. Life sense and keen sense sight. So if he chooses to take the action to gain 3 levels of insanity, being he's level 6, which means he's tier 3, he'll have all of that. The armored hide, so the plus 2 to AC, the life sense, and the keen senses. Oh, keen eyes, you know? So he gets bonus to spot with a perception check as long as he's using his eyes. What would be the alternative to that? I don't know. But let's move right along to 12 points. What would he gain at 12 vicious points? I want an attack for him. For real, I want an attack. What do you think about a scorpion tail? That's too much, right? God bless you. Oh, the wing bash. I never attributed points to that yet. forgot to do that. Anyway. Choices. Well, the scorpion tail does piercing and poison, which is fine, you know, because it could be like the cape coiling up into like a giant spike, you know, and have that green glowy energy around it. Just, we're gonna get you, you know. The mace tail does bludgeoning. See, at 11th level, he would have had the ability to unlock the special features, the cone attacks, the AOE's, really, really interesting things. But a bite attack. Should his cape turn into a? That's not very spawn-like though. Ay ay ay. Okay. I mean, for 12 points, he could gain magical flight. Like magical flight. But that's Spawn. Does Spawn fly? Spawn doesn't fly. Okay, what does he have right now? Huh. For 9, he has that. He's got 3 to spend if I wanted to add to just that. And that would be 4 points. Shadow Glide would be 4 points, so that wouldn't fit. It's decisions. Let's see. Climbing. Keen senses, blindside, tremor sense. Just looking for something interesting to add. Does he have Armored Hide twice yet? No? Okay. Alright, so keeping it simple. Armor Hide X2. So he get 4 AC for 4 levels. Oh. So we can add elemental adaptation for 5 levels twice, and it'll cost 10, which will only leave 5 points to spend. But I mean, resistant to fire and poison, right? Or fire and necrotic damage. What do you think? At 5 levels, he could click, turn that on. So let me just, while we're thinking about that, any one of these ability sets as a bonus action, you have the requisite amount of insanity. Insanity levels. Resistant, right? Elemental adaptation, X2. Fire. And necrotic. Fire and necrotic. So that's 10 points, which leaves him 2 points to play with. Armored Hide is 3 points. I mean, we could just trash the 2. It doesn't really matter. I kind of like the ability of trashing the 2. Because now it feels like I could imagine when like a flame or something comes his way, you kind of get like the cape swooping in by itself when he has this version of it, swooping in by itself and kind of like blocking him like a small little wall, or like wrapping around part of his body that takes that damage. I like that idea. 6 is the final, because at 7, the sorrow inside says, I'm playing now. Right. So what would 18 points yield? 18 points. Now we get to play. Don't. Awesome beast. Terrible. Nah. Key sentences. I mean, what if we wanted to add? We can't really add everything because that's 12 and that's 10. That's 22. That's not 18. But life sense and keen sense sight is it's a total of 6. Armored Hide 1 is 9. That's 1 point over. That's 19 instead of 18. Oh, well. I mean, Elemental Adaptation. Armored Hide 2. That's just kind of fierce. Like, think how fierce that is. Right? Think how fierce that is. That's fierce. That's pushing the limits. Right? It's pushing the limit. That's a total of 16. We have 2 points left to play with. Everything else is 3. Should we get rid of those 2 points? Because, I mean, if he's attacking with his sword, because that's what I see Spawn mostly doing. So let's move the and right there. So Elemental Adaptation and Armored Hide times 2. Plus 4 to his AC. He's already going to be pretty well armored anyway. He's an armor master. He's a shield master. And has, what is it, 7 plus 10 wounds. So Alright, so this is how it goes. 1 level of insanity. As a bonus action, you can activate your armored hide. Your cape starts to protect you from damage a little bit, gaining a +2 bonus to your AC. At 2 levels of insanity, you can activate your armored hide. Your cape protects you, and your eyes start to glow green, powerful, and you get life sense out to a range of 20 feet, and keen senses sight, which allow you to gain a bonus to your perception checks by rolling advantage, as long as it's using your vision. At 3 levels of insanity, you gain both those features of armored hide and keen senses, except that your armored hide is only at a +2. Alright. At 4 levels of insanity, your armored hide is at a +4. You gain life sense and keen sight. 5 levels of insanity, you can use your bonus action to activate your elemental adaptation, which gives you damage resistance against fire and damage resistance against necrotic damage. At 6 levels of insanity, which I don't know if you should be pushing it that far, you gain elemental adaptation versus fire and necrotic, and an armored hide that gives you a +4 bonus to your AC. At 7 levels, the sorrow inside takes over, gains all those benefits, all of your character options, features, saves, skills, ability stats, modifiers, and has 10 wounds. And the way you take wounds away is that you hit the target, and no matter what damage you deal, it removes 1 wound. If you critically hit the target, it reduces them to 0 wounds. If the target takes damage via an AoE, they take 4 wounds on a fail and 2 wounds on a success, if they would be damaged by the AoE while succeeding. However, they gain your abilities, so the sorrow inside is also a sealed master, meaning that it gets risky. It's risky, but I think it's fun. Risky, but I think it's fun. Might be getting a little bit too giddy over here. That's what it is. So, right. So this is everything listed in here. Levels. Amount of insanity levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the 7th. The sorrow takes over. I mean, we could just take this, make it easier to read. Right? Man, devoted defender, oral of vengeance. None shall pass. It's a scary dude. Scary dude. Now I said I was gonna give everyone 5,000 gold. What gear should we get this sucker for 5,000 gold? Let's close the night up, close classes, and go to gear. Character creation. Click open the gear section. Click open. Explode it open. Gear tables. So weapon tables. Medieval spawn has a sword, so we need to give him a sword. So let's look for a martial sword. Martial weapon, hammers, maces, swords. Alright. A really big sword. Hold on, let me see what I gave him again. Did I give him the divine strength? He has divine strength, so his awesome power is 2. And his encumbrance threshold is now 6. Right, very good, very good. He doesn't want a serpent blade, that's for sure. Can't wield a massive sword in one hand. Long sword, alright. Short sword, Dawn Singer. Could wield it in one hand. Let's find out what the Dawn Singer does, shall we? This really big blade seems to move itself to intercept incoming attacks. No! No! You may add your proficiency bonus to your armor class while wielding the Dawn Singer. No! This guy's going to be insane to hit with anything. Let's do it. Let's power build it, right? Let's power build it. Let's see if we could break the new rules update or not. Let's give him the Dawn Singer. So it's 2 parentheses 3 AP and 1,000 gold. Gold coins. I like GP. Why did 10000 instead of 000? Right? So we're giving him the Dawn Singer. that's 1,000. Let's wait. Let's go to arbitrate. How much is a suit of full plate? 1,500. Okay, but his AC would be bam. He has 5,000, so he can afford the dwarven plate, but that's all he can afford. And it'd be 20. And heavy armor. Wow, full plate would just be medium armor, but I'll go full plate. So full plate. AC, 2 AP. Alright. He needs a large shield. Holy cow. Thunder Shield. The Dawn Singer and Thunder Shield. He is less. Thunder Shield is a large shield. When the Thunder Shield wielder takes damage, the wielder may expend a reaction to reduce the damage taken to 0 and push all adjacent creatures up to 10 feet away. Huh. I mean, it's really interesting, right? But he's a Silver Knight, so he should be taking his reaction to jump in the way to absorb damage from his allies. You know? I'm gonna leave that. Oh, we haven't even chose a fighting style for him. Oh my gosh. If we give him the armor style to give him the +1 AC? What do you think, Brian? Armor style plus... Let's give him a normal shield. Normal large shield. That's steampunk stuff. It's only 10. Okay. I mean, he doesn't look... He spent 2,510 gold out of the 5,000. Am I dropping frames? Let me double check. I don't know if I'm dropping frames or not. Dropped frames, 0%. Okay, I'm just bugging out then. Ah, the durable style. Golly. Yeah, fighting style. We all know what the durable. Ay, ay, ay. That's 18, plus that is 19. Plus a large shield would be 21 because he's a shield master. Golly. Alright, so AC armor class would be 18, 19. And then 21 with shield. And then he's got all his bonuses for my own enemy, which could bring that up to a 25. 25 AC. Passive initiative is only 9. Current encumbrance would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. His current encumbrance threshold is 7 with the gear he has. That's a lot. He's over encumbered. And what does it is the Dawn Singer. Oh, and the Dawn Singer increases it by 3, so it's 20. It's 22. $25 with the shield, and potentially 29 with his the sorrow inside, with my own enemy. Potentially. Right? And golly. And he's over encumbered. So should we keep should he have the Dawn Singer or not? Oh, he's still got money. How much is the Belt of Gigantic Strength again? Let's go to the Magic Gear tables. Brian, how could you let me forget? The Belt of Gigantic Strength, oh my gosh. Well, Lesser Belt of Gigantic Strength. Oh man, this is ridiculous. The Belt of Gigantic Strength. It reduces everything by 1. Not everything. It reduces armor and weapons AP encumbrance by 1. So he'll reduce 2. He'll reduce 3 because his shield. Oh my goodness. Should we give him the Greater Belt of Gigantic Strength and just be done with it? How much is the Greater Belt of Gigantic Strength? 1,500. I mean, he's got the coinage to just lay down, right? Holy cow. Alright. Great what? Greater, dude. Greater. Ugh. Oh my goodness. Alright. So that reduces his armor and shields AP. See, the thing is, it's now light armor for him. So he gets less damage reduction. But now he can wield more stuff. He can wield the Dawn Singer. Right? He can wield the Dawn Singer. So that's -2. That's a 0. That's a 1, and that's a 0. And so it's only 3, dude. His encumbrance went from a 7 to a 3 that quickly. Now, how is he looking for money? It's 1,000 for the Dawn Singer. Between the full plate and Greater Belt of Gigantic Strength, that's 3 grand. So that's 4,010 gold pieces. He has 990 gold pieces left to spend. You think I should have some healing potions, maybe? Oh my goodness. Backup weapons. Nah, he's a Spawn character. Spawn got his sword. Medieval Spawn got his sword. But, I mean, it's theme. It's a theme. So it's not trying to make him specifically. Pretty powerful poison potion, doesn't need that. A bag of holding. It's consumables. I mean, he's a knight, so he's proficient with holy symbols as well. Could give him a holy symbol. You wanted to give him or the Halo of Fire. I mean, Amulet of Sun is almost like that. The wearer of the Amulet of Sun sheds bright light in the 10-foot radius, dim light out to 20. Additionally, any enemy adjacent to the wearer of the Amulet of the Sun takes 1 radiant damage. Nah, man, nah. Oh, the Amulet of the Martyr. Hell no. he could buy it, and he could wield it. Amulet of the Martyr. What do you think, Brian? So for those of you who don't know, the Amulet of the Martyr, we'll click it and we'll read it for you. Amulet of the Martyr. If the wearer of the Amulet of the Martyr suffers any damage, all of the allies of the wearer of the Amulet of the Martyr in the encounter regain hit points equal to the amount of damage taken by the wearer. You know, equal to the amount of damage the wearer of the Amulet of the Martyr received. So, if this knight were to get hit for like 12 damage, all of his allies, all the rest of the party members in the same encounter, heal. They regain 12 lost hit points. Hey. Yeah, why not? Why in the hell not? Amulet of the Martyr. 500 gold, 2 awesome power. I'm only making these little extra things because I plan on making a separate pre-generated sheet, which is a little bit easier to read, and you know, it's like the pre-gen that I made before, where it cuts out the fat and gets really to the heart of this particular specific character with a little bit of extra flavor to color the character better. So that's 4,510 used up. With the Amulet of the Martyr, and his AP goes to 5. I mean, his current encumbrance goes to 5, and his threshold is 6. Oh my goodness. I know, only by 2 because now everything counts as light armor for him because of the belt of the greater belt of gigantic strength. That's all right. I mean, you know, it may be integral. It also reduces the amount of healing that the Amulet of Martyr would be pushing forward. But I mean, just golly, man, golly, what a character. I mean, I think with the rules in the game, the enemy creation rules, you could still create enemies that would give this big guy a bit of a challenge. Definitely. You know, swarms would give him a bit of heartache. Powerful enemies would definitely give him heartache because, like, we're pretty much done with this character. Like, I got 90 gold left to spend. Just give him some healing potions, just cause you wanna make him a bad man. Where's consumables? 90. Oh, lesser healing is 50. He's only got 90. I'll pocket 90 gold. Why not? Why not? We never know. He's got all this and 90 gold. Yeah, he's definitely a hardball. Alright, file, save as real quick. Right to my desktop. He's the spawn like knight for now. I don't know what name he'll have, but we'll figure that out later. Let's close the gear stuff. Go to the Evil Creation Toolkit at level 6. Let's see. These suckers have a +9 to hit, so they can hit a 25. They need a 16 to hit a 25, but they can hit a 25. There's also grappling. I mean, if they want to lock into grapples. He's just a hardball. He's not impossible to kill. He's not impossible to beat. He's just really hard. That's fine. He's a knight, right? That's fine. Um. So with that said, I am going to disappear and pour myself another cup of coffee before working on the next character. And I'm going to also lapse all that so I can open up another character sheet. I'll be right back. On the clockwork wall, you say? Are you sure? Yeah, he's a player. He's gonna be a player character. So wherever the player characters take him, wherever that may be, Clockwork Wall, you know, Mitzelberg, Shadowwood, Siren's Call, maybe, I don't know. It's any one of those places. Damn, I almost burned myself. Like, I heated this up too much. The coffee cup, I nuked it. Oh, it's hot. Can you see the smoke? Wait. Look at my glasses. Right? I don't know if you can see that. But, it's so hot that the steam comes up and fogs my glasses. Oh, child. That's, good stuff. Okay, so the first premise has been made. The next premise was I was the medieval spawn like character. Now the darkness. I think my idea for this is going to be easy, but the spell choices might, maybe, be a little bit difficult. There's gotta be a sorcerer. The darkness. The darkness. So moving right along. A darkness themed character. It's going to be a sorcerer. Level 6. I don't know if I want to make this guy a human. Again, because they're all based on characters that are human in the comic books. I don't know if I want to make him a human or a Moonglade Wanderer. Because the Moonglade Wanderer can shadow glide. So though it's not specifically something I've remembered the darkness in the comics doing or in the games, it'll be interesting to just have on the tabletop, right? Oh man, it's hot. Love it. So maybe a not a child. So let's do. I want to make him a fighter. That's for sure, right? So I'm gonna give him Soul Blade. No, not there. Right here. I'm gonna go to class first and refresh my memory on Soul Blade, because I think you can attack using your spellcasting ability modifier. I think. Well, that's Shatter Magic. The Geist, familiar Soul Blade. Soul Blade, the spirit you gain from the power. The spirit you gain power from takes the form of a ghostly sword. As an action, you can summon your Soul Blade and may wield it as if proficient. You may only have a single Soul Blade summoned at any given time. The Soul Blade you summon takes the form of a sword and deals 1d8 slashing and force damage for every Soul Blade Geist you have, plus your strength modifier. Your Soul Blade is only as tough as steel and may be destroyed. However, your Soul Blade is weightless and ends up with encumbrance. So you still use your strength normally, right? But use your charisma for your spells and stuff. If we make him the one of the melee damage dealers, I got an idea. Yeah. Let's collapse classes and just go straight up to the stat arrays. Alright. His dex is gonna go up because he's an elf. Wait, let me check the Moonglade Wanderer real quick. See what Charisma. Good choice. Good choice. Dex goes up by 2, charisma goes up by 1, so right back up to the stat array is 2 and 1. What's a good stat array? Alright, 15-15 might not be the best. 15-14 is the one I used before, and it plays well, right? So let's go 15-14. We'll give him a 15 dexterity. No, 14 dexterity, because the 15 is going for charisma. The next is 13-12 and 10. 13, 12, 10, and 8. Okay, being that he's a Moonglade Wanderer, his charisma goes up by 1. Goes up by 1, not down to 11. And his dexterity goes up to 16. I mean, he's not as strong as I would have liked him to be, but we could alter that. Should we switch his dexterity and strength? That would give him a 15 dexterity. Decisions. All right, let's do this again. Again or not again? All right, 15-15. 12. I can get that to 13. 13 would be 14. That won't be great, but that'd be something. The 15 could be strength. Yeah. 15, 15, 12, 10, 10, 9. We'll play around with that. Let me see how it looks. So 15 strength. 15 dexterity. 12, 10, 10. Let's go 12. Intelligence 10. No, 10, 10, 11. But 10. And 9. Right. Now we'll give him languages spoken. Languages spoken will be Common and Elven. Background. I want to make him a person's person. Which, as part of the background, gives him a +1 to his charisma. So his charisma goes up to an 11 for being a moon elf. His dexterity goes up to a 17 for being a moon elf. And then being a person's person increases his charisma to 12. Right? So the current spread is +2, +3, +1, 0, -1, +1, and oh my goodness, I gotta load back up our spawn character because I completely forgot to do the spawn character, the medieval spawn character's hit points. Wow, I have so much stuff open. The spawn like knight. Okay. Recoveries, he has 6 max, 6 current because he's not being played, 10 hit points per recovery. The maximum hit points are 10 at first level. Right? And how many? 6 every level thereafter for the knight? Yep. Okay, so his constitution is 2. So he gets 12 to begin with and 6 for 5 levels. Right? So 8 for 5 levels. 8 times 5. What's 8 times 5? 40? So let's say he's got the 40 plus what he started off with, which is 10 plus 12. So 10 plus 12. No. 10 plus 2, which is 12, which is 52. 52 maximum hit points. 52 is his current because he hasn't taken any damage, because he hasn't been played yet. And then his threshold is half rounded up. So half of 52 would be 26. So that's his beat up threshold. That's the one thing that I really forgot to do. I can't believe myself. So we save this guy. Yeah, what the? Overwrite, yeah. And then we'll leave. We'll leave him alone. Also power starts off at 1. Right. Let's jump to the person's person background. You are a social butterfly, a person of likable demeanor and charisma. You are a person's person, and people love you. No matter where you go or who's there when you get there, they will all probably end up your friend. Skill proficiencies you gain are persuasion and insight to any 2 languages of your choice. Golly. All right. So let's click off persuasion and insight. You know, Brian, you should be helping me. You've been around since like forever. And I'm trying to, you know, I would BS. I'm testing you. How come you didn't tell me? I forgot to do the rest of the proficiencies for having a level in night. Golly, Brian. Golly. So he's proficient in wisdom and charisma saves. So saving throw there, saving throw there. And he can choose 2 from athletics, insight, intimidation. I see him being athletic and intimidation, right? Oh, he's already intimidation because of what you call. But definitely athletics. Persuasion. Hell, athletics and insight. Is that it, Brian? He's like, I don't want to type. Okay, fine, whatever. Moving right along. So for the background of person's person, that's what this character will gain. Let's go back up to the sorcerer. Again, the +3 to the proficiency bonus. Ba-bum. Oh, why do I keep forgetting? Brian, I know you don't want to type. I know you don't want to type, but I need your help. (25/28). When also wielding the Dawn Singer. This guy's AC is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's probably why I keep forgetting things, because I don't want him to gain more power. I want to forget how strong he is before even typing. I'm just gonna leave that open just in case I forget anything else. Getting all excited, creating characters that I'll never play. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the sorcerer's skills. They are proficient with Constitution and Charisma saving throws. They may choose 2 from Arcana, Deception, Insight, Intimidation. This guy's the darkness. Right, he's already proficient in Insight. I know he's not very good, but... Persuasion and Deception. Screw it. Oh, he's already got persuasion because he's a person's person. So let's add perception. I mean, deception. And throw a bit of arcana in there. Right. Let's handle his hit points for now. So, Constitution gives him +1, so that's 6. 6 times 5 is 30. 38, 39 is his max. Bam, boom. Current is 39. Bam, boom. Recoveries 6 because he's a level 6. He hasn't used any. And he gets 8 hit points back per recovery. Right. His beat up threshold would be 20 because that's 39 rounded up. Right? Because 15 is 30. 15 is 30. Wait, no. 19 would be 38. Yeah, it'd have to be 20. So that's this character's beat up threshold. Fibbly, coffee time. Cumbrance threshold is only 3 for the moment. We don't know if it's going to stay that way yet. Speed is 30. Any other language. 2 of any other language. So let's be funny. Right? Add Infernal so he can talk to his buddy. And Ether Speak. Or Ether Talk. So he can speak to ghosts. I absolutely love coffee. Don't know what character options this person's taking yet. But they only get 1 at level 4. Yeah, so he has his... This is... I don't know. I don't know yet. What's the... Oh my goodness. If only I had one more character. Yeah, that's what I wanted to get. I wanted to get the ability bump. Yep, that's what I'll do. So, character options. +1 strength. And +1 dex. It's going to be the character option, so you can have a dexterity of 18, strength of 16. That becomes a +3, and that becomes a +4. Maximum Haggard is 3. Save. Dank. Nabbit. Don't give me all that. 3. Armor class is 14 base because he's not wielding a damn thing. A +A strength? No, +1. What the hell? Anyway. It's got 5k gold to play with after creation. Let's add some class features in there. Spell components are somatic. So he needs to move around some fingers, whittle around the fingers of a hand to cast a spell. He's got Geists. How many Geists he has? 2. So that's the wrong guy. Soul Blade × 2. Right? Yeah. That, you just don't... Whatever. You just want to make my life hard, don't you? Character option level 4. He's got Spell Shatter again at level 5. Anything at level 6. Boom. 3 soul binds. No, right, so soul binds, spell specials. Total of 4 spells, no. Spell casting level. Should be 3, right? Yep. Alright. We'll deal with those spelly spells later. Spell shatter. So, oh, gathering power. Because you gotta put gathering power in there. He's a sorcerer. It's very integral to him. Gathering power, spell components, spell casting, spells known, spell schools, right? Okay, no Radiant Servant, no Traditionalist, and no Bartleby's Arcane Shaping. Everything else goes. He's attuned. Put that down. Meaning he always has Detect Magic on. Doesn't cost him a damn thing. Embrace Spell Shatter, right? So at 5th level, your Geist gains the ability to destroy magic and magical effects. As long as you have a Geist within 5 feet of you, you may dispel magic and or shatter magic. If you do not have a Soul Blade in hand, at least 1 familiar, active, or 1 poltergeist, you can't dispel magic or shatter magic. Dispel. Action. Range 30 feet. Choose a creature, object, or magical effect within range to attempt to dispel. Make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. The DC for the check equals 15 plus the caster's tier of villainy. A successful check ends the spell or magical effect. Shatter magic. Reaction. Range 60 feet. Choose a target within range that you can see casting a spell or using a spell-like ability. To attempt to shatter magic, make an ability check using your spellcasting DC. Spellcasting ability. The DC of the check equals 15 plus an enemy spellcaster's tier of villainy. A successful check ends the spell or magical effect. Based on your Geist or Geists, you may gain a secondary benefit to shatter magic. Each secondary benefit is tied to a Geist. If you don't have at least one of that type of Geist, you may not use the secondary benefit. Soul Blade. If you use a Soul Blade to shatter magic, you may add your proficiency bonus to the spellcasting ability check to shatter magic. So that's the Soul Blade. That's what my guy is right now. Soul Blade. We're gonna do something with him, and it has to deal with the update. So we're getting there. As a matter of fact, we've got to choose our Soul Binds now. Soul Bind, right? Having a Geist does more than just simply fuel a sorcerer's ability to cast spells. It gives them the ability to gain Soul Binds. Soul Binds are special features that must be learned. Once learned, the sorcerer will always have access to their Soul Binds. The sorcerer gains a number of Soul Binds as they level up. Refer to the Soul Binds column of the sorcerer class table. For the purpose of being counterspelled, dispelled, detected, or nullified in any way, your Soul Binds do not count as being spells, spell-like abilities, or magic. Period. And I'm gonna sip me some coffee. I'm gonna get coffee bound right here. Now, as part of the test, there are 2 new Soul Binds. Shackles of the Abyss and the Beast of the Abyss. The prerequisite for Shackles of the Abyss is to have a Soul Blade Geist. For Beast of the Abyss, it's either Poltergeist and or Soul Blade Geist. Our character is a Soul Blade. Both of his Geists are Soul Blade Geists, so he qualifies for both of these. Alright, so Shackles of the Abyss. Instead of your normal Soul Blade, you may manifest your Geist's power as bladed chains or some ominous-looking weapon-like thing that you can wield without hands. that respond to your will. After taking this soul bind, you can now summon and wield your soul blade without using your hands. The soul blade does not count as dancing and will remain somehow in contact with you. While in this form, your soul blade still benefits from all other soul binds related to your soul blade geist, including a reforged soul. Though the weapon gained from reforged soul takes on the appearance of your shackles of the abyss. Additionally, you may attack with your shackles of the abyss as an offhand weapon. With your shackles of the abyss summoned, you may not summon your normal soul blade, but you may summon forth the claws gained from the beast of the abyss. With that said, let's move on to Beast of the Abyss. As an action, you can summon forth the power of your geist in the form of claws on both hands. Both your hands turn to claws, the look and theme of which is entirely up to you. When using these claws, you may treat your awesome power as 1 point higher for every poltergeist and soul blade geist you have. And your unarmed strikes deal slashing and necrotic damage instead of bludgeoning. With these claws summoned, you may not summon your soul blade, unless you have the ability to summon Shackles of the Abyss. Now, the theme, you could make a Spawn character too. The inspiration was a buddy of mine. Let me see if I can get his name real quick. I don't know if he wants me to put him on blast, but someone mentioned the ability to play Spawn. Now, you can already build a Spawn-like character utilizing Sorcerer, and just reflavoring and coloring things. But I really wanted to add, it inspired me to create these things. Jeffrey Hines, putting you on blast, buddy. He inspired me, and this is what transpired, right? And the idea was originally for Spawn. You know, Spawn has his chains. He can animate his chains and whatnot. Spawn's gloves always seem to have these little claws on them. But with the darkness also has these little claw-like things, and he can also summon the demons gained from the darkness, right? So the ability, if you ever played the Darkness game, he had these little tendrils that had mouths on them, and these tendrils will attack for him, right? Now, mind you, I'm not giving him the ability to use guns right now. This character can use guns, but they wouldn't get the proficiency bonus, so they won't be as good with them. But summoning the Shackles of the Abyss, and those will be the tendrils, right, that are connected to the darkness's form and have mouths on them, and that's why they do their bludgeoning, their slashing and force damage is cutting through, or maybe you could theme them however you want as blades or whatever, but that's the point of origin of the inspiration. And then the Beast of the Abyss having claw attacks, and then attacking, gaining an additional attack as a bonus action with your offhand weapon. Just stuff like that. So let me add that to the character. Wrong character. They only know 3. Now, I knew I wanted to go with those because I wanted to test those out. But as far as having soul binds, only being able to choose 3, gathering power, only summoning forth a single point of mana, do I want to give him blood magic? Or charge increase, right? Charge increase means when he gathers power, he can gather forth 2 points instead of 1. Or he could just be a weak mage. Because another good thing we can give him is a Field of Swords. Right? As an action, reduce your speed to 0 and summon a field of ghostly swords. Surround you out to a radius of 10 feet for every soul blade you have. So if this guy has 2 soul blades, it'll surround him out to a 20-foot radius. Right? The field lasts as long as you remain stationary, unless you are moving through your ghostly wings or wading through the endless waters. Soul binds. Right? Endless sea, sorry. Any enemy... Oh, wait. Field of Swords. Found another edit. write that down with my red pen. An enemy beginning its turn or entering your field of swords must roll dexterity versus your spell save DC, or take 1d8 plus charisma, slashing, and force damage. So, you can always theme your field of swords as the horde of tiny little mischievous demons that surround the darkness. Anybody entering within 20 feet of you, or beginning their round within 20 feet of you, is being assaulted by these things. And if they fail their dexterity save, they take d8 plus your charisma. This character's charisma is 14, 12? Oh, 12 is only plus 1. Plus 1, right? So they take 1d8 plus 1. It's not a lot, but you'll be assaulting them with your claws. Alright? The awesome power of this character is 1. Meaning, if you go here, awesome power, unarmed damage, slam damage, right? If you don't already know, in Saturday Morning Tabletop the RPG, unarmed damage is on a sliding scale. Your awesome power dictates what that is. So this character has an awesome power of 1. Normally, they'd only be able to do 1 plus your strength. For this character, that'd be 3 points of damage. However, with the Claws of the Abyss, they could up that to a total of 3, dealing 1d6 plus their strength. I'm an idiot. I need expert swordsman. If I really want to take advantage of the Claws of the Abyss and the Shackles of the Abyss, he needs to have expert swordsman. With that said, if you don't already know, let's scroll down to expert swordsman. Oh, skilled swordsman, sorry. You gain 2 attacks per attack action when wielding your Soul Blade Geist. So he can attack with his claws twice and his chains once. Or he could just attack with his chains twice, save his claws for later. Golly, man. I like the claws, but their claws really come into play hardcore with a more developed character, a higher level character. Because you can attack twice with 2d8, as opposed to once with a d8, with 2d8, and twice with a 2d6. Ultimately, it does result in higher damage output. I mean, if you want to go there. And it's also a different type of damage, just in case, you're fighting something. Oh, but the AoE is just too nice. Oh my goodness. This is the thing about sorcerers, man. And other characters as well. They're kind of too fun to build, and just the things you can do. Let's just give them skilled swordsmen. Let's give them skilled swordsmen to be done with it. Those are his 3 soul binds. Shackles of the Abyss. Claws of the Abyss. Skilled swordsman. Now, unarmed strikes can be used as an offhand attack too, so you can just throw in maybe a d6 to 1 claw attack instead of 2 claw attacks. And attack with your little tendril monster mouth things twice. He's a melee bastard. Alright. Okay, now we can move it to spells. Now this is going to have to, whenever you're choosing spells for anything, it's a bit of an arduous process no matter what, right? Because you got to worry about the level and whatnot. So we need 2 spells of level 1 or lower, 1 spell of level 2 or lower, and 1 spell of level 3 or lower. Now granted, he's never going to be able to cast 2nd level or 3rd level spells, because when he gathers power, he can only get 1 point of mana temporarily. So his magic is going to have to supplement his melee ability. With that said, let's explode the magic section. Being that he's themed off of darkness, he needs to get spells from the creeping dark, don't you think? Right, Shadow Shards could be a good, good ranged attack. Man, Darklings, to summon Darklings, that's a level 2. I mean, it would be fun. But no. He needs Cloak of Shadows. Definitely Cloak of Shadows. Alright, when you're thinking about the darkness, you think Cloak of Shadows. So, it's a 0 level. And let's just give him Shadow Shards because he needs a range attack. And make sure we're choosing the spells correctly. So he's got that. I need one more of level 2 or lower. We're going to choose a level 1 because we have to. You could never cast higher than a level 1 spell. Let's go back to Creeping Dark. Now there's Spectral Scythe, Shroud of the Night, Armor of the Abyss. Shroud of the Night. Inky black darkness billows into existence and swirls around you, shrouding you in its embrace. A 30-foot radius sphere of magical darkness emanates from you and moves where you move. If the dimly lit area of a daylight spell comes in contact with this magical darkness, the darkness consumes the dimly lit area. However, the bright light of a daylight spell will always remain and overtake the area of your Shroud of the Night. Okay? If you overcharge it, which this guy will never be able to, the duration becomes instant. Oh, he might be able to. Oh, there's ways around that. But he's a little less darkness. A little more thing. Anyway, I'm over here. I'm freaking out. Like, I want to do certain things. But let's just overcharge. It becomes instantaneous, made to spell light, magical, and day. Moon elves get dark vision. So there's that. Shadow Glide. There's that. Shroud of the Night may be very important. Okay. Then there's the armor. Let me go back up. Let me just explode this open so I can see the spell schools. Click on them to go faster. Armor of the Abyss. Darkness crawls across your form, as it were a second skin, protecting you and lashing out at your enemies. For the duration of the spell, your AC becomes 13 plus dexterity, and any enemy adjacent to you takes 1 point of necrotic damage. Overcharge. Any living creatures brought to 0 HP by this spell is consumed by the darkness and killed. You regain HP equal to your recovery amount for every living creature killed in this fashion. I think we're going Armor of the Abyss. That's what I think. It's got the Claws of the Abyss, the Shackles of the Abyss, and a spell, Armor of the Abyss. Yeah. Which leaves us with our last spell that can be chosen from level 3. Though he doesn't have the power himself to cast it, there are ways that he can go about being able to cast it. They can be Shadow Geist, Reeve, Umbral Blade, Tendrils of Living Dark, Darklings, or Shadow Step. Now, he's already got Shadow Glide, and that's what Shadow Step gives mages that take that spell. They cast the spell to gain Shadow Glide for a moment. Darklings, if he's named off the darkness, we need the darkness, right? Or Tendrils of Living Dark. If I had Menagerie, Reeve would be an interesting heal. But I didn't take Menagerie. Should he have Shadow Play? We didn't even think about that, Brian. We didn't even think about that. Should he have Shadow Play? Shadow Play is like the illusion spell, basically. Okay, we got some. This last choice. I don't care if you don't want to type, Brian. Yeah, shadow play. Oh, shadow play. Darklings, tendrils of living dark. Shadow Geist. Let's look at Shadow. It's a concentration spell, but let's look at it, right? Your form grows dark and translucent, bleeding away into little more than shadow and spirit. While this spell is active, you gain a fly speed of 10 feet. You can't interact with any objects physically. Your hands and body simply move through them. This means you can move through solid objects such as walls and are immune to all bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-cold iron weapons. However, you can't deal any bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage with your weapon attacks. Taking any radiant damage ends this spell. Overcharge. The fly speed equals the caster's walking speed. Okay? So basically, this character becomes a shadow ghost, right? His soul blade, yes, it does slashing damage, but it also does force damage. The claws of the abyss deal slashing and necrotic, meaning he won't be able to do the slashing portion, but he can deal necrotic or force damage still. Becomes a little harder to deal with if the enemies don't have cold iron, let's just say, or radiant damage, because he takes radiant damage. That's it for him. So that's an option, right? It's a difficult option for him to get because he'll need to take the mana tubes, right? The mana power tubes, but it's one that a route that he could possibly go. Now, Darklings still, again, needs mana power tubes. But Darklings are cool. Darklings are really cool. Okay, it's taking away the focus from this particular character and letting him attack via a summons, right? And the idea wasn't to build a summoner. That's the only thing, you know? I mean, there's other spell schools we can choose from. Teachings of Belenost, Twisting Serpents, let him do poison damage. I don't know if we want to take anything from Visage of the Beast. Maybe Scales of Regeneration? Maybe not. Teachings of Belenost. Ical's. Nah, not Ical's Mirror. It's not very what this guy is. Scion of Indra. Get a little lighting in there. Nah. We'll stay creeping dark for this particular theme. Now I gave him Shadow Shards. Right, Shadow Shards gives him a necrotic damage at distance. So he has a range attack. Every good mage needs a range attack, right? Shroud of the Night. I gave him that, didn't I? No, Cloak of Shadows, Shroud of the Night. Cloak of Shadows is the one that allows him to, cost an action, duration is instantaneous. You blend away into nothingness as the darkness consumes you. While within an area of darkness, no light or dim light, you become invisible to the naked eye until beginning your next turn. You may remain still and take no movement to remain invisible. Right? Overcharge is you may move and still remain invisible. Additionally, you gain fly speed equal to 10 feet for every specter in your menagerie. This guy is not built off of building menagerie, but still, the ability to temporarily go invisible. I mean, that could prove... That's a bit of utility that could prove useful. Right? Shadow Shards. Armor of the Abyss. He's not wearing armor, so... The ability to gain some armor, do some extra damage is always good, right? Now, the Cloak of Shadows. No, not the Cloak of Shadows. What was the other one? Shroud of the Night. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Shroud of the Night is you just make everything dark. I mean, you have dark vision, so that helps you. It's always about that last thing, that last option. You know, when you gotta choose that last thing, everything just becomes so important then, and only then. It's like, oh, what do we get? You know. Tendrils of Living Dark make sense, though, for this theme. Yeah, like Tendrils of Living Dark. It's concentration up to a minute. Squirming, ebony tentacles fill a 20-foot square on the ground that you can see within range. For the duration, these tentacles turn the ground into an area of difficult terrain. When a creature enters the affected area for the first time, or on a turn, or starts its turn there, the creature must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or be restrained by the tentacles until the spell ends. A creature restrained by the tentacles can use its action to make a strength or dexterity check, its choice, against your spell save DC. On a success, it frees itself. Casting at higher levels, increase the spell's area, 20-foot square, by 10 feet for every level beyond second the spell is cast. So if you think of the darkness, like the ability to summon just these tendrils of nastiness made from pure darkness. I mean, it goes. Thematically, it goes. And gameplay can be a bit of utility as well. You know, tendrils? Okay, Tendrils of Living Dark. That means we gotta buy this sucker some arcane power tubes. He's gonna be a little steampunky. Well, etherpunk. He's gonna be kind of etherpunk-like. But that's all this character's specific things that don't have to do with gear. Shadow Glide in Between Worlds. Yeah, mark that down real quick. Between Worlds, you take a point of insanity. You can transport to the Moonglade, which is a parallel dimension, a subdimension. And Shadow Glide is the ability to move in and out of shadows, teleporting from one shadow to the next. The distance teleported is limited only by your base movement. And it's limited by how much coffee I can get into me. Spell save DC would be 10 plus proficiency modifier plus charisma, which will be a spell save DC of 14. Oh yeah, then we need all this melee, range, attack. That's minor stuff. Gear is major stuff, right? So let's collapse schools, spells, and the entire magic section. Let's get rid of it. Let's close classes because we don't need it anymore, and let's explode open gear and the gear tables thing. And go straight to the magical tables. Straight to the magical tables. I mean, there's spell scrolls. Oh no, it's gnome crafted gear. Is the arcane power tools. Power tools. Golem armor. I know, I got golem armor like halfway done. But that's not the focus of this one. So much. Anyway, a large arcane power tube cost 2 large arcane power tubes would over encumber this person and cost all 5,000 gold. That's too much. That is way too much. Okay. small arcane power tube. They can, what's their encumbrance threshold now? 4, right? It should be 4. I didn't change it. So the threshold is 4. Alright. So small tube holds 4 mana. He could easily have 2 small tubes, and that'll be all he really needs. 8 mana. He can gather power out of combat to fill his tubes. I mean, cast the Tendrils of Living Dark as a 3rd level spell, which is the highest he can cast. Would take 3 of the 8. I mean, that's not bad, right? Oh, hell, should we give him the Poison Filtration? Because you know the Darkness, you know, that Estacado dude, when he transforms, he always seems to have like this, I mean, it's a part of the Darkness, not part of the gear, but, you know, always seems to have like the little mask thing. Poison Filtration Mask. Okay, let's type in Arcane Power Tubes, right? The cost of which is 750. So 1 AP, 750 gold. Times 2. Two arcane power tubes. So that's 1,400 gold. And 2 AP for his encumbrance. That's half his encumbrance threshold right there. Right. Yeah, and the Poison Filtration Mask is just cool, so we'll do it. Filtration? No, fill. Did I not hit the L? Oh my goodness. So the Poison Filtration Mask. 200, nothing to his encumbrance. Oh, fuck it. Alright, I mean, we could give him a gun. He won't be very good at shooting it. We could give him a gun. I mean, should we do that? Is that a waste or no? I mean, the Hitman is good at, you know, but we didn't do that for this guy. We didn't do that for this guy at all. I mean, worst comes to worst, I could remake this character as a tinkered gnome, give him guns, and this. Take away the Shadow Shard spell. Give him something else, maybe Shadow Play. And he'll be firing clockwork pistols. Ah! Oh my goodness. Make him a gnome. Nah, let's not make this character a gnome. Nah. Let's see what magic items to give. Could give him an amulet of protection, but he's already got the spell. Could always load them up on spell scrolls. The player might not like it that they're not good at guns if you can't use proficiency with it. Yeah. I'm just, I know that. We'll make him a gnome. Gnomes are just good. It just go. We could make him. We could make him a tinkered caretaker. So a robot with the darkness. Oh, he loses the shadow glide feature, and the stat bumps and abilities take a different route, but could be that. Though, yeah, they may never have a mana well, but sorcerers don't have a mana well. A robot version of the darkness, or a midget version of the darkness. That's where we're going right now. Oh, jeez, man. Alright, peace out, Brian. Enjoy. If I give him, I can give him level 1 scrolls and it wouldn't apply anything. There's encumbrance. But fireball is a level 2. I'm like menacingly just... yes. What do I do with this potential character? Just blinking my little whiskers. Oh, jeez. Like, I don't just throw these guys together all willy-nilly. Maybe I should. Be easier. But I don't. Amulet of the Sun. Only 10 intelligence. What would be some... That's too much. See, this is only resulting in, what is it, 14, that'd be 15, 1700. 1700 out of the 5 grand. This guy doesn't need much, does he? Right. Lesser healing, greater healing, rejuvenation potions. 4 would be worth 2 grand, right? So let's give him lesser rejuvenation. Lesser, nah. That's the thing. When you drink a lesser rejuvenation potion, you benefit from a short rest. You gain the benefits of a short rest. The greater rejuvenation potions grant you the benefit of a long rest. It's $4 grand. Nah, I can't afford it. But as a short rest, he could spend some of his recoveries to heal. Yeah. Let's give him what, 4? Which they are how much a piece? 1,000? 500. So it's $2 grand, right? So oh jeez. Jeez Louise. So that'd be 19 out of the $5 grand. So he only has, nah, he doesn't have enough to really benefit from that. If he was a warrior or a knight or a barbarian, yeah, definitely. But not in the state that he's in now. So 4 is a bit much for him. Dropping that down to 800 spent. Then we'll give him some healing potions. What is healing? Greater, superior, probably a few superiors, right? Superior is like what, 20? 25? 25, yeah, right there. So superior healing potions are 250, right? So just give him 10. $2,500 and 1,800 is what is it, 38, 43? That's almost all of his gold. $700 gold left. A good bag of holding is always good. Was it 500 gold? 500 gold, right? That bag hold 300 gold. What? I knew it. No, I didn't. I just messed up. Okay. What else should he have? What else? Come now. Any more gnome crafted items? I mean, he doesn't need anything for light. You can see in the dark. Thrives in the dark. Yeah, I can't really see anything. So he's just got 400 gold on him. He's a rich darkness guy, for now, anyway. But he can mess stuff up in a fight, kinda, sorta. So he'll be the one that fights side by side with that guy. I'm making nothing with melee characters with this thing, aren't I? Oops. Still got a ranger character to make and a werewolf character to make. But I think I've been doing this far too long. Today. I need to take a break. Right. Yeah. Because, I mean, making the Beast Blood a barbarian berserker would be pretty crazy. Making the Beast Blood a arcane warrior would also be pretty nuts as well. This guy's a bit of damage as well. The knight is a bit of the support, the tank, the damage mitigator, kind of sort of a bit of a healer, like an off healer. There's no priest in this party so far. I also need to make a ranger, a lawman ranger, and maybe I'll make a story catcher priest. Though a story catcher performer, well, like a warrior poet, not a warrior poet, a little bit more. Fortune teller. Anyway, enough concepting characters for pre-generation right now. I mean, I already know that this medieval spawn-like guy, this darkness guy, they're going to be pretty interesting to draw when I do get around to drawing them. And hopefully I should be able to get this party started. Get the art for the party started sometime this week. Because I do want to run, I want to run the tests later on this week, like a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Maybe Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Who knows? But for now, I'm taking pause. And I'll be back later, and I'll make the... there's definitely two more that I need to make. There's the... I need to make a Beast Blood with the new Beast Blood rules, and I need to make a Ranger with the new companions. Either a Ranger or a Druid, because Druids have changed now as well. I would make a Martial, but the rules for the Martial archetype are not yet done. They're not yet ready for playtesting. At least not by my opinion. So, definitely two more characters need to be made. But I've been here 2.5 hours, right? 2 hours, 40 minutes, something like that. So for those of you who have stuck around and dealt with my sanity for a bit, thank you. And I'll see you, ladies and gentlemen, next time.